Hello everyone, we are Sisterhood. Our speech topic is English speaking, part of the current state of online English teaching for Chinese students. The project platform we designed is iLearn. Okay, let's start the first part, a brief introduction to teaching issues. From the social background of current epidemic, this project explores how to better solve the oral English problems faced by Chinese students in online English teaching model. For Chinese students from undergraduate to doctor's degree, we have knowledge background and classroom interaction, oral ability and influence reasons, problems in the learning process, students' demand for this course, students' suggestions for creating this course. From these 5 parts, 51 sample surveys were conducted. According to the survey results, we can see that the low level of oral ability is the most important problem that causes Chinese students to face learning difficulties, and most Chinese students hope to improve their learning experience from grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation by taking this course. Next, we can start the second part.
Okay, let me share my screen. Hello everyone, I'm KANYAN. I'm talking about the second and third parts of teaching performance, objectives, and evaluation tools. First, we can see our overall goals and 6 different performance objectives and different small steps. We can now see how the performance objectives and the evaluation tools are composed. And okay, first of all, we use the ABCD model to determine our performance goals according to the overall goal of the teaching and exercise. Finally, we determine what tools to use to evaluate the performance goals. Okay, now we come to our first part, 1.23 point. The performance goals, performance objectives is have 3. Okay, wait. Number 1 is Chinese students will be able to access the internet in the 3 minutes using computer basic and without errors. Number 2 is Chinese students will be able to download Google Chrome and enter the correct course page URL into the Google Chrome search bar and open the course page without error. Number 3 is Chinese students will be able to enter their personal account information in the login interface and then enter the oral English learning page without error with 1 minute. Okay, let me go to assessment instrument. This section will be assessed using Google Form. A questionnaire will be set up in the Google Form, which will include a survey of whether the learner's internet situation is normal, whether the learner can open Google Chrome, whether the learner can enter the correct lesson website and access the lesson page, whether the learner loads their account information accurately, and whether the learner can access the English-speaking learner page. Okay, then we go to the 4 point. We can see the performance objectives. As Chinese students will simple spoken English ability will be able to complete the course content and the coursework and give feedback to teachers without delay or omission. And we can see the assessment instrument. This part will be assessed using Schoology. This is LMS system. Use Schoology's teacher side backend to assess how long students start the course, how long they study, how long they complete assignment, and whether they complete each task according to the required schedule. In the discussion area, you can assess whether the feedback between students and teachers is timely and whether each student participates in the discussion. Let me introduce in 5 points. The performance objectives is Chinese students need to prepare the internet conditions and equipment needed to take the English speaking test in advance without mistakes. And we can see the assignment instrument. This section we need the user Google Forms. A questionnaire will be set up in the Google Form, which will include the survey of whether the learner's internet working, whether the learner can open Google Chrome, whether the learner can access correct test site and get to the test page, whether the learner has accurate information about their account, and whether the learner can access the English speaking test page. And another important part is 5.5. This section can be assessed based on the back end of Schoology. You can log in to their students page after the exam to get the students' exam results and mastery of the course. And the last part is 6 point. The number 6 point is evaluation of speaking ability. We can see the divided two part. And the performance objectives is Chinese students will be able to master the words and grammar learned in this course and become proficient in using the words and grammar learned in the oral communication. And the assessment instrument is using Weibo's backend during the test. You can evaluate scores or monitor student status based on Weibo's backend, or ask the instructor via the chat box if any expected questions are raised during the test. This is section in which you can use the backend to assess whether students can use the word and grammar learned in this course properly and can use the vocabulary and grammar learned in the oral communication without errors. Okay, finally, I would like to say that we three girls cooperated with each other to complete the whole assignment of 512. We cooperated very happily during this process. Based on our love this course. So basically, all parts were completed by us. We were all very seriously and responsible. Okay, then we go to the next part. Is from ZHAI MANYU.
Hello everyone, my name is ZHAI and the first section is about instructional strategy. The design of the teaching strategy will be illustrated based on Guinness 9 events. And the first is about pre-instructional activities. It includes gain attention, informing learners of objectives, stimulate recalling of prior learning. And the first, play popular and interesting English short films or inspiration speeches to learners, such as movies and speeches to get their attention. Next, after the broadcast, ask the students how much they understand the content of the short film and ask them to introduce themselves briefly in English before answering the questions, so as to stimulate the learners to use the previous English skills like speaking and listening. Last, according to the learner's performance in pre-teaching activities, the learning objectives are drawn out and students are told that they can solve the current problems and curriculum requirements after the end of this course. And next is content presentation and learning guidance. It includes praising the curricular material and providing learning guidance. First, introduction to the spoken English course. Vocabulary show common vocabulary used in spoken English communication and allows learners to make connections with their own vocabulary. Next is about pronunciation. Show the phonic content of English to stimulate learners' memory of their own phonetic knowledge, which can be learned by having learners listen to American and British pronunciation to compare. Next is about grammar. Tell learners about the use of basic grammar. It's taught through a text-based PowerPoint presentation. Last is about fluency. Watch English films and videos. Group members rehearse English dramas for performance among themselves to improve learners' fluency in spoken English. And next is about study guides. The teachers used mnemonics to help learners recall their knowledge of previously learned vocabulary, pronunciation, and grammar. Infographics are designed to categorize pronunciation grammar to help learners understand. Role-playing and doubling clips from English movies to improve students' fluency in spoken English. The third is about learner participation. It includes eliciting the performance and providing feedback about performance quickness. We use an interactive game that encourages students to join the game to practice speaking and provide positive feedback on the current use of grammar and intonation. Next, stimulate learners' participation in the classroom. And the first is about assessment. Assessing the performance. First is about formative assessment. We use the expert review and one-to-one. Next is about summative assessment. This assessment captures how well students have mastered their knowledge and whether they are proficient in using that knowledge at the end of the entire course. The last is about follow-through activities, enhancing retention and transfer. Provide learners with PDF versions of English learning materials and update the skills articles of oral English expression from time to time. Upload them to WeChat group fields so that learners can consult and learn English after class and maintain their interest in oral English. Next section is about formative evaluation plan. This is about formative evaluation plans introduction, and we conducted expert reviews and one-to-ones, which were used to reverse deficiencies and make our lessons more effective. The first is about expert review. The doctor is Dr. Stephanie. She is a professional oral English doctor, and this is her introduction. And this is Dr. Stephanie's comment. Your whole idea is more correct. The most important thing to learn and improve oral English is to speak English. You have done a good job in this regard, and I think your courses are very useful for Chinese students studying abroad. And we use the instrument is about questionnaires. This is about the outcomes. It include functionality, usability, effectiveness, and accuracy. And next is one-to-one. This is the server profile. And this is Ms. Tao's comment. I think the design is clear and very feasible. I care more about the English speaking fluency aspect of the course curriculum and wish there was more content in this area. And this is Ms. Ding's comment. I think the assessment could be a little more detailed, and students could be given feedback on where to strengthen their training based on their performance. Overall, I think it's good. And last is Mr. Hu's comment. I think it's clear the design is friendly to me because I feel I need to strengthen my vocabulary, grammar, and pronunciation, and it's very, very functional. I've made mistakes in class before due to equipment issues, and the equipment detection feature I found very useful. Next is about instrument. I use face-to-face or video conferencing. And about the attitude, Ms. Tao and Ms. Ding think it's easy, and Ms. Hu think it's slightly doubtful. And this is duration. Next instrument is about questionnaires. And this is outcomes. Ms. Tao and Ms. Ding, their facial expressions and attitudes are more relaxed, while Mr. Hu is slightly doubtful, and Mr. Hu's time is also a little longer. Therefore, believe that this material requires more time and experience for below-average learners to understand and learn, and is relatively easier for intermediate and above-average learners, according to the questionnaire. In general, all 3-4 learners are satisfied with the design, which basically meets the requirements of learners at different stages. We will make improvements based on learners' feedback. And that's all. Thank you for listening.
The last part is storyboard, prototype, display, and introduction. I'd like to introduce the prototype design concept. We named this project platform Adler, which means to provide a suitable environment for learners who want to acquire knowledge and encourage learners to learn actively. The main hue is red and black, concise and fashionable, focusing on highlighting the function and learning content, and avoiding distracting learners' attention by messy and complex vision. The main functions of the platform are composed of 4 parts: my course, my test, my score, device test. These functions covered all stages of learning, taking tests, and obtaining evaluation. Next, I will show the visual effects of storyboard and this high fidelity prototype. This is web search. Students input LM's URL in Google search box. It's user loading. Students enter account information here, and they click the button to enter the course. This is my course page. Students' personal information and basic class information there. Students can see the course reminder of the day here. And there is details of students' classes, including attendance rate, total class over. It's my test page. Students can view the announcements of each subject here, and they can see the test announcements here. It's my score page. Students can view score and teach commands here. And they can see their account information, grades, and the total grades of each subject here. It's device test. Students can test the receiver, microphone, camera, and the network here before the test. And finally, they can click the Start Test button to test. It's high fidelity prototype. This is Google search box and the course landing interface. These 4 parts belong to my course interface. This is my test interface. It's my score interface. It's device test interface. That's all. Thank you for your watching. My name is Wang YIYUAN. Thank you for your watching.
My name is KANYAN. Maggie is okay. Thanks to you guys watching.
Hello, my name is ZHAI, and thank you for watching.